Hey, what's up? Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Podcast style today on this beautiful Thursday, May 11th, 2023. You think Perry Thompson is going to stay committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide? According to Andrew Bone of On3, rest easy, saying that Perry Thompson's still locked in with the Alabama Crimson Tide. If you don't know who Perry Thompson is, one of the most highly coveted prospects out of the state of Alabama, ranked number 3 overall in the state of Alabama by On3. He's a 4-star, 6'3", 205 pounds. See what happens. See if Holman Wiggins, Alabama's wide receiver coach, and Alabama's new OC, Tommy Rees, can reel in a key in-state prospect. That would be a great addition to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Let me know where you're coming from inside the comment box. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Have a video coming out today talking about Jalen Milroe. And if Jalen Milroe can lead this Alabama Crimson Tide unit from the quarterback position. I'm a big fan of Jalen Milroe. Honestly, I think he has enough ability, and I think most importantly, enough athleticism to win games for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Isn't that the most important thing? To win an actual game? I think sometimes we get so caught up in the mechanics in how the quarterback is making his reads. And I get it. We want the best quarterback for the position. And I think Jalen Milroe is right there with Tyler Buckner and Ty Simpson. Honestly, I think he's ahead of those guys because Jalen Milroe was thrown into the fire last year against Arkansas when Bryce goes down. Jalen Milroe stepped up. He continued to lead the Tide past a very pesky Sam Pittman-led Arkansas team. And then he gets the start against Texas A&M. A start. And he comes through with the W. Tyler Buckner coming in. A lot of athleticism, a lot of excitement. Some people not so excited. But I think when you look to Tyler Buckner and what he brings, he does have game experience. Lost a game to Marshall. I think a lot of people look to that. Lost a game to Ohio State. A lot of people look to that. Then you have Ty Simpson, the redshirt freshman. People look to his athleticism and the fact that his father is a current coach at UT Martin. So he understands the schematics of the game, been around the game his whole life. Throws a fantastic ball. It's a very exciting time to be talking about the Alabama quarterback room. Check out that video on Jalen Milroe. It'll drop at 11 a.m. Central Time right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Coach Saban will miss the annual Regions tradition. It's a golf tournament that they have in Birmingham. Where's Coach Saban? Well, Coach Saban is in Italy with the wonderful Miss Terry Saban. Going to Italy, remember, Saban owns a Ferrari dealership. Ferrari. And that was the most important thing, and not important thing, but the most amazing thing when Jalen Key, who will be announcing his decision this week between Florida State and Alabama, he goes out to Coach Saban's house and the garage doors open. And there's not one Ferrari, but there's 2 Ferraris in the garage. Coach Saban living different. 2 Ferraris. That's a flex. So Jalen Key could be another addition to this roster. We've talked about the secondary unit. A couple days ago, Trey Amos out of Louisiana Lafayette decides to commit to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Really big addition. People like, oh, now we're going after prospects from Louisiana Lafayette. I think the thing, how to frame this, is you are bringing in players with experience. And if Alabama is able to add Jalen Key, then you bolster up that secondary unit. And I think the world of college football today is you need a defensive secondary that is athletic, is long in length, that can play man, that can play zone at a very superior level, because the wide receivers today of college football are absolutely phenomenal. And in terms of the speed, the size, think about this. I was talking about Steve Sarkisian and the Texas Longhorns recently. Had a video talking about, it was Urban Meyer who said that head to toe, Texas's roster is one of the best in college football. And maybe that's the case. But when I started looking to the Longhorns wide receiver unit, they have 3 guys that are going to jump out when you look at the roster, right? Xavier Worthy, baller. Added A.D. Mitchell, baller. And then you have Jatavion Sanders, the tight end position, baller. Those 3 guys are going to present a problem. And if Quinn Ewers can lead that quarterback position the way that they expect him to, that is going to be a very nice tandem of wide receivers and options to get the football to. Love to see the matchups with Alabama versus Texas in that week 2 showdown here in Tuscaloosa. Kool-Aid against Xavier Worthy, right? Those are some good matchups when you look on paper. Terran Arnold going to get challenged. So overall, having that depth and having that quality depth at every single position is, of course, a no-brainer. But in the secondary, it's vital because the game of college football has changed. It's no longer 3 yards in a cloud of dust. We know that. You got to be able to stop these high potent passing teams. Even the Georgia Bulldogs finally realized that and turned their offense up. That's why they had the wide receivers that they did last year. That's why they started throwing the football more. And that's why they are continued problem, is because they moved from 3 yards in a cloud of dust to being able to be a more balanced team. Talking about the Georgia Bulldogs in that aspect. So we are watching social media for Jalen Key to make his decision and to see if Alabama will add another transfer from the transfer portal. How do you feel about the transfer portal? I think clearly Alabama is, making it work for them. When you look to the overall transfers that have gone in and out from the University of Alabama, most recently you had Traquan Fagans. He entered the transfer portal, committed to USC. You had Jaquez Robinson, left from Alabama to go with Coach Prime, Colorado. Tyler Buckner came in from Notre Dame. Demoy Kennedy went from Alabama also to Colorado. Tresman Marshall came from Georgia to Bama. Damian George, big offensive lineman, left from Alabama to Florida. You could go on and on and on. I mean, it's really incredible to talk about the transfer portal. Christian Leary went from Alabama to Georgia Tech. Trey Sanders went from Alabama to TCU. CJ Dupree came from Maryland to Bama. Amari Kite from Alabama to UCF. Tommy Brockemeyer, Alabama to TCU. TCU's reeled in a few Alabama transfers, right? Aaron Anderson. I mean, does that one sting a little bit? The transfer portal, Bama to LSU. I thought if Aaron Anderson would have stayed, he would have had, maybe would have. Yeah, I think a lot of it was that he got injured before he could really showcase his abilities, but I think he probably left a little bit too early. I think Aaron Anderson could have got on the field if he was 100%. Javion Cohen is headed to the U, Miami. Kyrie Jackson is from Alabama to Oregon. That was an interesting one. I thought that Kyrie Jackson might be that guy that Alabama needed out of the transfer portal. I'm sorry, not, from a junior college, like a junior college edition. Just, I guess, never was able to beat out some of the other corners, other defensive backs on the roster. JoJo Earl, that was another one that I thought, maybe left a little bit too early. Alabama to TCU. So you could go on and on about the transfers and how it's impacted and affected the Alabama Crimson Tide. It's amazing how the game has changed just over the last three seasons or whatever, right? Had another couple videos go out about the players that are still incoming to the University of Alabama. And there'll be 4 additions coming probably by the end of this month. It's the end of May. Keon Keeley, he's a 5-star. 6'5", 245. Yanzi Pierre, 6'3", 221. I combine those guys' highlight film. It's amazing. Those guys, the burst off the edge, what they're bringing in terms of that athleticism from that outside edge rusher position. It's always been an athletic position, but when you have William Anderson, you're like, okay, we get it. You know, William Anderson comes around, you know, once in a great while. Well, Dallas Turner is not too far behind William Anderson. I promise you. Talk to some people that say Dallas Turner going to go off the board in the NFL draft. He's a top 10 guy, maybe a top 5 guy. I'm serious. That's the talent that he has. And I think when you look to Keon Keeley, Yanzi Pierre, as those guys develop, I mean, they have the athleticism, the ability, the coaching to really get to that level as well. Richard Young will be added to that running back room, which is phenomenal. How do you think the running back room is going to shake out in the University of Alabama? When you look to Jace and Roydell, those are your bets now. Justice Haynes was just absolutely killing it during springtime. Jam Miller, I think he probably gets a little bit overshadowed. But one thing I saw about Jam Miller is I always rewind to that Sugar Bowl game where Jam Miller had a long run. And I was like, oh, man, he looks nice. You also have Connor Talty coming in, who's a kicker. But you do have Will Reichert returning. A lot of people forget about Will Reichert, you know, and all the success that he's done for Alabama. I think when you look to kickers, you just remember them for specific kicks. But overall, Will Reichert has done a good job for the Crimson Tide. And I think it's a solid addition having him come back for the 2023 season. Lane Kiffin talking about one of his favorite people, and that's Nick Saban. And Nick Saban also talking about Lane Kiffin, right? That was recently on the radio. Those guys, I mean, those guys probably have so much respect for each other from the coaching standpoint. And I think, you know, the thing about Coach Saban is he likes that dog mentality. And I think Lane has that clearly. It's funny to see those guys going back and forth on, I think it was Sirius Radio. There was an interview with Coach Saban, and you know, every single time Lane Kiffin is on social media is always aiming at the GOAT and stuff like that. But I think clearly that those two guys, you know, probably had some really good times. I think the quote was from Nick Saban. He's like a family member where I can joke about him, but if someone else does, it really pisses me off. That was Lane Kiffin on his relationship with Nick Saban. You can go check that out on Sirius XM College Sports. Hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys being here. Kyle Henderson, Alabama football. I'd love some feedback inside the comment box. Do you like this podcast style? I think it could be an option that we go with later on in the season. Just want to, you know, talk some Alabama Crimson Tide football with you guys. And I always check out the comments inside the comment box. So if I don't get to you or give you a thumbs up or whatever, I am cruising through it. I am reading it. There's a lot going on inside that comment box. On a sadder note, saw that Henry Ruggs, man, that news around Henry, right, is just heartbreaking. So I think he'll be officially sentenced between 3 and 10 years in prison. And when you rewind to Henry Ruggs and everything that happened, it's horrible, right? I mean, just because I rewind to when I first got to Alabama. First moved to Tuscaloosa, took a drive with team rider Tony Sukalis out to Montgomery. And Henry Ruggs, we go to Lee High School. And we talked to his head football coach, and then we talked to Henry. He was such a polite and respectable young man. And then I saw his highlight tape playing basketball. You ever see Henry Ruggs highlights playing basketball? Unreal. It was like, if you're old enough to remember like the Sean Kemp dunks, it was crazy. It was so crazy, the overall talent that he had. And then when he came to Alabama, he was a touchdown machine, right? Like right away. And then the November 2021 car crash that resulted in loss of life was just unbelievable. And I just, kind of those images that go back. I remember even Coach Saban talking about that. And, you feel for the family that lost their loved one. And, Henry Ruggs will certainly have his day in court, or has had many days in court. And, it's just a heartbreaking situation all the way around. And prayers for those involved, especially for those who lost a life. I mean, we only get one trip around the globe, right? That's what I always say. It's like, it's never a bad time to tell somebody how you feel about them, especially your loved ones. Like, call your mom, call your dad, call your sister, call your brother, tell your friends, and check on people. Literally, check on people. I went through a lot last year, and I can remember the people who reached out to me and just like checked on me, and I appreciate it. Oh, what's up? How you doing? Let's go bowling. Let's go hang out. Let's go have lunch. Check on your people. Don't forget about the people in your corner. Be thankful. I appreciate you guys listening. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The weather has been so great out here. I really enjoy, getting outside during this time of year, because May is kind of sleepy. It's not that hot, right? You haven't had the humidity come in. Played Old Colony golf course yesterday. So check this out. I recently joined the Alabama Amateur Golf Tour. Yeah. So I love golf and fell in love with it about 3 years ago. Alabama, you can play. There's beautiful golf courses. I live up by North River, so that's my home course. My first official tournament, I go down to Lagoon Park in Montgomery, Alabama. You guys ever been there? You guys ever play golf at that golf course? It is hard. Yo, in North River is hard. Lagoon Park is a very narrow golf course, and then you have these overhanging trees. Man, it was tough. The guy I played with actually took second. He must have had, I don't know, 6 fireballs or something like that. He was feeling good. Making friends, though. Yeah. So anyways, want to come on and holler at you this beautiful morning, May 11th, and drop your feedback inside the comment box. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you very much for the support on Bama Insider. Bama Insider. I still am used to saying Bama Insider, but it's Bama Football on YouTube. Bama Insider is your homeboys with On 3. Bone, Clint Lamb, Joseph Hastings. Those guys just kill it. Jimmy Stein. Those guys do such a great job. So go check them out. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. I will catch up with you guys as news breaks. Watch for that Jalen Key announcement to drop before the end of the week. That's according to the people in the know. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Kyle Henderson at Bama Football on YouTube.